Aristotle, one of the towering figures of ancient Greek philosophy, profoundly shaped our understanding of politics and society. In his seminal work, Politics, he examines the nature of governance, the essence of citizenship, and the role of the polis, a city-state that served as the center of political life in ancient Greece. Born in 384 BCE, Aristotle was a student of Plato, yet he charted his own course by grounding his theories in empirical observation and practical experience. His reflections on politics were deeply influenced by the dynamic, often tumultuous environment of classical Athens, where the experiment of democracy and the challenges of oligarchy and tyranny were a part of everyday life. In this work, Aristotle poses enduring questions. What constitutes a good government? How should power be distributed among citizens? And what is the true role of a citizen in contributing to the common good? Unlike his teacher Plato, who envisioned an ideal, almost abstract state, Aristotle sought to understand the practical realities of human affairs. He believed that the polis is not just a political entity, but a community where individuals can achieve their fullest potential through active participation. For Aristotle, politics was not merely about the exercise of power, but about fostering a virtuous life where reason, justice, and moderation guide both the rulers and the ruled. As we begin our exploration of politics, we will delve into Aristotle's insights on how governments are formed, how citizens should interact within the state, and why the pursuit of the common good remains as relevant today as it was in the ancient world. Join us as we uncover the foundational ideas that have shaped Western political thought for over 2 millennia. Aristotle divides governments into 3 ideal forms: monarchy, aristocracy, and polity, each designed to serve the common good when ruled virtuously. In a true monarchy, a single wise leader governs for the benefit of all. In aristocracy, the best citizens share power. And in a polity, power is broadly distributed among the people. However, when these systems deviate from their noble purpose, they degenerate into their corrupt forms. Monarchy turns into tyranny when a ruler pursues personal gain rather than the public interest. Aristocracy falls into oligarchy when power concentrates in a self-serving elite. And polity, while aiming for balanced participation, can devolve into a democracy that favors the transient whims of the majority over enduring stability. Aristotle is clear that no government form is without its merits and drawbacks. A virtuous monarchy or aristocracy can offer stability and consistent, wise decision-making, yet they carry the risk of concentrating power in the hands of a few, potentially disconnecting leadership from the people's needs. Conversely, a polity promotes inclusion and civic engagement, but its strength is also its vulnerability. Diverse interests and factionalism can lead to short-sighted decisions and instability. For Aristotle, the ideal government is not determined solely by its structure, but by its ability to balance power and serve the common interest. He argues that the best form of government depends on the unique character and size of the community. In smaller, more homogeneous societies, a well-ordered monarchy or aristocracy might flourish, while larger, diverse communities may be better served by a polity that encourages active participation and shared responsibility. Ultimately, Aristotle's analysis challenges us to consider that the legitimacy of any government rests on its commitment to justice, moderation, and the common good. His insights remind us that every political system, no matter how ideal it appears, must constantly strive to maintain balance and serve the collective welfare. Aristotle believed that the concept of citizenship was central to the well-being of the polis, the city-state that served as the cradle of political life in ancient Greece. For him, being a citizen was not merely a matter of legal status or residence. It was a moral commitment to actively participate in the affairs of the community. True citizenship meant engaging in public debate, decision-making, and the administration of justice. This active involvement was essential for cultivating virtue and achieving excellence in both personal and collective life. In Aristotle's view, the polis was more than just a political institution. It was a vibrant community where ethical and political life were intertwined. The purpose of the polis was to create an environment in which its citizens could flourish or achieve eudaimonia, a state of well-being and fulfillment. By participating in the deliberative processes of the polis, citizens refined their capacity for reason, justice, and courage. In this way, active participation was not only a civic duty, but also a means of personal moral development. Aristotle argued that a well-ordered polis provided the framework for living a virtuous life. The laws and institutions of the polis were expressions of the community's shared values, designed to balance individual interests with the common good. Citizenship required that individuals possess both the education and the moral character necessary to deliberate on public matters. Only those capable of discerning the common good from narrow self-interest were considered fit to contribute meaningfully to political life. Thus, being a citizen was both a privilege and a responsibility, a call to uphold justice and to work towards the welfare of all. Ultimately, the relationship between citizenship and the polis in Aristotle's philosophy is symbiotic. While the polis creates the conditions for a good life, it is the active, virtuous participation of its citizens that sustains and enriches the community. Through their involvement, citizens learn to balance their personal desires with the needs of the collective, ensuring that the community remains just and harmonious. In Aristotle's ideal, political life and ethical life are inseparable, with each reinforcing the other to create a flourishing society. Aristotle believed that the purpose of governance was to foster the common good, creating the conditions that allow every citizen to live a virtuous and fulfilling life. In his view, the role of law and institutions is not merely to impose order, but to serve as the framework within which individuals can achieve their highest potential. A well-ordered government, Aristotle argued, carefully balances the interests of the individual with those of the community, ensuring that every decision and policy contributes to the welfare of all. For Aristotle, laws must be crafted with wisdom and guided by reason. Governance, then, becomes a thoughtful pursuit of the common good rather than an exercise in power. When citizens abide by laws that reflect shared values, the state moves closer to realizing justice, fairness, and harmony. In this ideal, institutions are designed to encourage active participation, enabling citizens to contribute to public life and uphold the principles of moderation and virtue. Central to Aristotle's vision is the principle of balance, the idea that virtue lies in the golden mean, a state of equilibrium between excess and deficiency. This concept applies to both personal conduct and the administration of public affairs. Whether allocating resources, enforcing laws, or managing civic responsibilities, moderation is essential to maintaining a just society. When a government leans too far towards authoritarianism or descends into disorganized populism, the delicate balance is lost, and the common good is compromised. Ultimately, Aristotle's approach to governance is a call for a collaborative effort between citizens, leaders, and institutions. In his ideal state, laws are not tools of oppression, but instruments that secure freedom, equity, and prosperity for all. His emphasis on reason, fairness, and the collective welfare remains a timeless beacon for modern political life, challenging us to design institutions that truly serve the interests of the entire community. Aristotle's Politics continues to resonate, offering timeless wisdom that informs modern political thought and practice. His insights into virtue, balance, and the active participation of citizens remind us that a just society is built on the collective engagement of its people, not merely on abstract laws or institutional power. In today's world, fraught with political polarization, economic disparity, and debates over the role of the state, Aristotle's call for moderation and reason is more relevant than ever. His vision challenges us to reconsider the foundations of our political institutions. How can we design governments that, like the well-ordered polis of ancient Athens, truly serve the common good rather than narrow, self-interested agendas? And as modern citizens, are we willing to cultivate the virtues and civic commitment necessary to sustain a vibrant, equitable community? These questions invite us to reflect deeply on our responsibilities and the values that underpin our democratic systems. Aristotle's emphasis on balance, the golden mean between excess and deficiency, offers profound guidance for addressing today's complex challenges, from resource allocation to power distribution. His philosophy urges us to seek equilibrium in our personal lives and public affairs, prioritizing collective welfare over individual gain. As we conclude our exploration of Aristotle's Politics, we are left with a powerful legacy: the idea that true political order emerges not from rigid structures alone, but from the active, virtuous participation of citizens. In a time when the challenges of governance and citizenship remain as pressing as ever, his insights serve as a beacon, urging us to renew our commitment to the common good. Are we prepared to embrace this call and shape a society that reflects the highest ideals of justice and balance?